Hey everyone, I create these videos with very hard work, so please subscribe, like and share my channel. I will be motivated for creating these technical videos. So in this video I am going to show you a project of machine learning which is shown by price prediction. So let's get started. I create the project before showing you everything. Guys, we are going to make a project of machine learning, and it is first part of our machine learning project series, which is sold by Create Prediction. So let's understand our business problem. Okay, the business problem is that suppose you are constructing a company of bike selling, and you have a destination called A. Let me explain you. Suppose you have destination A, and in destination A you have 5 bikes with your company companies of bike selling. Okay, the company is of bike, and you have two destinations A and B, and in A you have 5 bicycles, 5 bike, and in destination B you have 15. And after 1 month, you know the destination A need more the bike. More bike in destination A is needed, and in destination B less bikes are needed, and in destination A 5 bikes are sold, and in destination B only 1 bike is sold. So your company has been lost, because it is a big loss, because you have put the bicycle means bike on destination that don't need bike, and you put less bikes where you want bike. So this is the business problem. I hope you understand the business problem. If not, you can comment me. I will create a video on the business problem of this project. So let's see on the steps for creating the project. Step number 1 is we have to load our data set, which is, let me show you the data. This is the data show bike. Guys, our Y column is rented bike count, and we are going to create a ML model on it, not DL, ML model. We are going to create a ML model. So firstly we have to load our data set, and after that we have to prepare our data set for training, and then we have to build our model, and after that we have to deploy our model in local system with the help of Python classes. This step. So firstly let's load the data and create our Jupyter notebook. So let me exit the slide, go show, and okay, let you see what we have to do for opening our Jupyter notebook. By the way, I opened Jupyter notebook already, but I will show you again how I open this. Sorry for that. So we have to open our data file path and copy the path by clicking on the upper side, and then we have to type Anaconda PowerShell prompt, and then cd, then double quotes, and in double quotes we have to put our path, and after that we have to type Jupyter Notebook and press enter. It will automatically open our Jupyter Notebook, so let's wait while it is opening. It's opening too fast. It's open. After our Jupyter Notebook is open, the company gave us a data. Company will give us a data. I can't show you the data because it is in the encoding of Latin. So let me show you how I create the notebook. Firstly, I click on new, then Python, IFI kernel. I create these two kernels by myself. By default, you will see only this kernel, not these two. So the notebook is created, and when you click on it, you will the interface will automatically open like this, and you have to rename the notebook. For renaming the notebook, click on the file name Untitled. So let me rename our notebook Soul Bike Rate Prediction, and after that we have create a markdown. Install. Let's check it. We have to import dependencies in this cell. So let's import our dependencies for loading our dataset, which is only this. And for easy we can import our dependencies. Matplotlib, pyplot as PLT. In this line we have import our matplotlib.pyplot package as PLT, and here we import our pandas library. If you want course, hey guys, if you want a course on machine learning, you can comment me. I will create a course on that. And we import a S3 bond. Let's load data. For loading data, we named a variable and guys, we have loaded our data. Let's take a look on our data. This is a look of our data. Guys, one step is done. This step is done, and after that we have to prepare our. So let's do this. So let's create a markdown. We can do a thing which I thought. Here we have a title shown by weight prediction, and we can put it upper side, and we created this heading as second heading, and we create all the headings in second heading. This is right format. This is looking pretty well, and I don't want to show the report, so we can pull it down and it will show the report. It is very looking very helpful. So let's prepare our data, which is called data pre-processing. So firstly I want to tell you what is data pre-processing, and let's talk on its principles. So let's understand what is data pre-processing. Data pre-processing means, suppose we have a data of X and we pass it to our model, and don't be on my handwriting, and it will give us a Y hat. So the X must be have to number, and duplicates are not in our X values. So we prepare our data and feature engineering, and we get a new Y hat, which is too helpful and too accurate, and model will be much accurate than previous. So let's try it. So firstly we have to check our data is skewed or not. Skewed. We can do a thing here. Firstly we get info of our data.info. Here you can see our data has a column called date, and it has to be in date tag 64ns, and it is in object form. Object means string format. So for that we are going to convert our split date column for that data has a column called date, and convert that column in date, time, data, date, and if we execute, date first equals to, and we have convert that, and we forget to do a thing. Drop any and duplicates. Data is equal to data dot drop any in place is equal to data is equal to data dot drop duplicates. And we don't need to do in place is equal equal to true because we have stored that in our data and it will be null. So let's restart and run all. It will rerun all the things which we have written. So it's creating. It is done. The action is taken. Here you can see we have date time ns and data have a new feature called year and data of j dot dot year. Let's copy it and paste it 4 times. Month and day weekday day month and let's execute it. It is executed. Let's see our detail. Here we have 4 columns added and we can drop our date column. Our date column is dropped. Then we have to find our multicollinearity and delete it from our dataset. We have to convert this to third heading. Split and find here we have to find multicollinearity, guys. Multicollinearity means, let me create a new slide for your help. Guys, multicollinearity multicollinearity means if we have a data set of x and y and in our x we have 2 columns which are highly correlated and that column is poisonous for our model and it works as a poison for linear regression model. So for that we have to find a multicollinearity and delete it from our dataset. Find and remove multicollinearity. The spelling is wrong. Okay, we have to find multicollinearity here. For finding that, we can put here stats model dot stats dot outlier influence from and import variance inflation factor, and we have to create a function called get VIF. Before that we can do a thing, we can do ED analysis. we are going to do little bit of it, not too much. Sheet map. We are going to plot because it is related to a multicollinearity. So I create a step called here data dot call and what's the problem? Okay guys, we have to convert it in our guys. The problem is we have to convert our data set into number format so we can do ED analysis. For that we can create a step of encoding. Guys, look at the beauty. For doing a single step we have created 2 more steps, and encoding is mandatory step. Encoding, we have to encode these 3 columns. We can drop season column because after too much parameter tuning I find that season is not perfect column. It is very bad. So data is equal to data dot drop seasons comma axis is equal to data dot holiday is equal to data dot holiday dot map a dictionary. If that is no holiday, then put here 0, else if it is holiday then put here 1, and if it's work we will do same for functioning day. Yes, it work. We can do the same for functioning day. Here you can see our data is encoded in one hot encoding format. Soon, now if we check our dataset type, all of it is in numbers. So what are we waiting for? Let's do our main task. SNS.heatmap. It will give us the heat map. We can put here CMap is equal to views. It looks more beautiful so we can understand. And data dot gone off rented bike count. Here is the correlation with the rented bike count column, which is our Y. And let's find multicollinearity. Here you can see we have a strong collinearity with the temperature and dew point temperature. So let's find the let's execute it again. Let's execute it again so it will be numbering is will be right. As you can see, we have a strong correlation between dew point temperature and temperature. So for that, let's find our dew temperature versus temperature correlation with our y hat column. So with the temperature of our rendered byte count correlation is 0.53, and with the dew point temperature we have only 0.37. So we have to put our temperature column. So for that, let's drop that. I will drop that later when I find the VIF of that. Just put that in our mind. We have to drop dew point temperature, and I will show you how our temperature will fluctuate from 150 to 3, 4 or 5. And after that we have strong correlation. We have to drop last two columns, day and weekday. Visibility and humidity are next. So let's see the correlation. Visibility has correlation of both columns are important. We can drop any one of it. We can drop any one. We will see that in our VIF factor. This shows little bit of multicollinearity. It means we have multicollinearity and we have to find and delete that. So let's create our function data, and VIF is equal to, see the code very carefully, data dot values comma key, and the key will be for key in range of len of data dot shape of data dot shape of 1 and return VIF, and we can put it in our panda says pd dot series of VIF comma index is equal to our data dot columns, and this will be our VIF series. Sorry for that, we have to put here is equal to get VIF on data. It will give us VIF. The rendered byte count is does not matter. Here you can see our temperature is highly VIF, but our temperature is too important feature for predicting our Y, because it is highest correlated. So let's drop its multicollinearity problem, and that is dew point temperature. For that we have to put here data is equal to data dot drop dew point temperature. Let's copy and paste it here. I don't want to write the name. And x is equal to 1, and 1, 2, 3 and go guys. See on the temperature VIF, it is very low. Look here, it's surprising. And after that we drop dew point temperature. We have to drop which we have to drop next. We have to drop visibility. We can drop visibility. And if we again run it, humidity VIF is low. Now we can drop two features also, and because that are less correlated to our target column, very less, day and weekday. Day cover weekday, and let's run that again. It's little bit of less, little bit, and let's see. Let's take a look on our correlation with advanced features centered by count and sort our values, and put here ascending is equals to false. Humidity is highly correlated in negative axis. Means if we down our humidity, the rented by count will be increased. And if we drop our year, then let's see what happens. We have less. What if we drop, instead of visibility, we drop humidity. We have to look both. So for that we have to region all the cells. Let's see what will happen. It's generating. Guys, if we run our VIF again, let's see what will happen. Guys, we have very less VIF and it is good information for us. We have to just drop some columns and it will automatically reduce our VIF, and that is good news. We have dropped our VIF. VIF full form is variance inflation factor. If you don't know the mathematics of VIF, you can search it on Google. And next step, what we can do now, let's take a look at the set again. Okay guys, we can move on our model building. Our dataset is prepared fully, so we can move on model building step. Stage is model building. We are on this step number 3rd, and after that we will create a class. So So model building is very tired. We have completed our 80% of work and we have to done our 20% work only. And for model building, let's import some models from sklearn. We have to split. We have to apply scaling also because it improve our model performance. I noticed that when I am training our model, so for that let's do it. Okay guys, we have dropped our rented byte count, then extract rented byte count, and after that we have to apply standard scaler. So for that we have to create, import that from here. Let's import here. For scikit-learn dot processing import standard scaler. We have two scalars, min-max scaler and standard scaler. We are going to use standard scaler. Min-max scaler, we have to pass min and max. That is very confusing for us, so we don't use that. So scalar is equal to standard scaler. If you put that or not, don't put that. Standard scalar dot fit transform at x. Let's we don't do that. Guys, we have we throw our standard scalar. For that we create an instance of standard scalar and then fit called a fit transform function. It means we fit in our x and transform it also. So we have to export it also. And after that we have to train test display. Train test display. Okay guys, we have split them. So we have to select our model. So let's select our model. For that it's too logic. We have to use our logical thinking and create a dictionary, and we are going to do that. Okay guys, we have import all the models and create a dictionary and list them out. Let's create a dictionary called fit our models, and let's fit our model. Guys, our model are training. Okay, they are trained, and we can re-execute all of the code for these numberings. Guys, our models are trained. Let's create our evaluation metrics. Guys, our evaluation is completed. So let's compare our model and let's see which is best. Linear regression has higher mean squared error and mean absolute error. RMSE RP score is very bad of linear regression, and RF is not best. Guys, we are going to select XGBoost model. So let's save our model. Guys, we have saved our model. Let's take a look. Here is the scalar and model. Both are completed. So let's create our inference class. We have done these 3 steps. We are on last step. Deploy model in local system using inference class. And this project is of real world. The company provides you the data and you have to create a model on it, which is this. And after that you have to give that to your project deployer and create a class for the project deployer. So let's open it with code. VS Code is opening and we can shut it down. We don't need Jupyter Notebook. Let's just save that. Here we have our model, and after that we have to create a package of inference.py. Here we have to make a class called inference. Guys, our class is ready. You have to give this class to your project deployer and you have to freeze the requirements for we can create a new terminal here. Sorry for that. Our requirements are freezing in requirements.txt. This file. In this file, all the requirements will be freeze. They are freezing and they are freezed. These are the requirements, and the developer will just write a command called pip install -r requirements.txt and it will automatically install, and he can use this class to inference and predict. He can develop the site in Flask, Streamlit and whatever he wants. But this will work. So I hope you like this project, which is sold by Create Prediction. Thank you guys. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like and share my channel.